If you're a person on the right, you know about the bias in the legacy mainstream media because we see it every single day. The lens through which every story is crafted is shifted and skewed towards the left. However, if you're a person on the left, apparently you're totally oblivious to this fact because they're just saying things that you completely agree with. However, you know it's getting really bad when now, of course, even the left is starting to point this out. And that's what we're going to see from Bill Maher today. But first, let me set the stage. We had NPR's president go before Congress and testify about her non-bias. So let's check this out first.
I've, in the D.C. area, editorial positions at NPR, he said he found 87 registered Democrats, 0 Republicans. Is that accurate?
We do not track the numbers or the voter registration, but I find that
concerning. Was award-winning journalist who worked 25 years at NPR, Mr. Berliner, was he lying when he wrote that?
I am not presuming such. I just don't have, we don't track that information about our journalists.
87 to 0? And you're not biased?
I think that is concerning if those numbers are accurate.
It's concerning. I mean, it wasn't 44-43. It wasn't 60-27. It wasn't 70-17. It wasn't even 80-7. It was 87 Democrats, 0 Republicans, and you say NPR is not biased.
Do you believe that white people inherently feel superior to other races?
I do not.
You don't? You tweeted something to that effect. You said, I grew up feeling superior. How white of me. Why did you tweet that?
I think I was probably reflecting on what it was to grow up in an environment where I had lots of advantages.
It sounds like you're saying that white people feel superior.
I don't believe that anybody feels that way, sir. I was just reflecting on my own experiences.
Do you think that white people should pay reparations?
I have never said that, sir.
Yes, you did. You said it in January of 2020. You tweeted, yes, the North, yes, all of us, yes, America, yes, our original collective sin and unpaid debt, yes, reparations, yes, on this day. A few years ago, NPR educated America about, quote, the whole community of genderqueer dinosaur enthusiasts. Do you think that that's an appropriate use of tax dollars?
I was not at NPR at the time, sir.
That's not the question, though. Do you think that that's an appropriate use of our tax dollars?
I think our tax dollars that we use are to be able to provide a wide range of
I'll take that as a yes. You do believe that that's appropriate.
So for years now, the people on the political right have been trying to pry back the funding given to the NPRs and the PBSs because all they are at this point are mouthpieces for the political left, for the Democrats, right? And it's easy to see just how biased they are when Jim Jordan comes out and says, oh, all of your editorial staff are Democrats, right? They all lean to the left, not one Republican, okay? So it's really easy to see that, yes, you are clearly biased, but we have the NPR chief saying, no, we're not biased, we're totally even keel, okay? But then what are you actually covering? Oh, we're talking about the trans paleontology community. That's the stuff that's really important to us and to her personally. Oh, the white reparations, the white guilt, and all of these other things going on. So we know exactly how they lean and how their programming goes. But of course, now we're starting to recognize how biased this is, and even Bill Maher, as I mentioned, is calling it out.
The heads of NPR and PBS testified before Congress this week amid accusations of liberal bias. Should the government continue to send taxpayer dollars to public broadcasters? Well, a little background here. I mean, they've been after them the Republicans have wanted to get rid of PBS for as long as I can remember. This crowd will probably do it. I mean, I also read my namesake, Katherine Maher, was head of NPR, and, you know, she said, we're completely unbiased. Give me a break, lady. I mean, they're crazy far left.
I love NPR. I listen to NPR almost every day, have since 1975, when my parents used to play it in our Chevrolet Caprice when I was like 9 years old. I love it for its point of view, but since 2020, it has no longer been general. I remember in 2021, my then 9-year-old asked me, and of course she has no sense of context, I don't pump her full of things like this. She said from the back seat in a very different car, she said, Daddy, why is it that NPR is always playing the same thing? And I said, what do you mean the same thing? And I swear she said, now she doesn't have a vocabulary, but she said, it's always about how somebody can't do something. And that what she was getting at was that. I wouldn't have said that about the NPR that I knew back in the day, and I wouldn't have said it 10 years ago, but that is what it is now. I will listen to it daily, but it's no longer a general audience venue. They should just give up national funding. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we're past, my view, we're past the age really, where the government, first of all, why do we need to subsidize? Why can't we have outlets like this? And we're so polarized. These outlets became popular at a time when Republicans and Democrats didn't hate each other and weren't at each other's throats and didn't think each other was an existential threat. In that world, you can't have places like this, I think, anymore. They have to be private.
So yes, even leftist Bill Maher recognizes how biased NPR actually is, and he doesn't even give any evidence to back up this claim, and the whole audience actually laughs along because they all know he's correct. NPR clearly has an agenda, they have a side, and they've picked it, okay? However, I don't really agree with his statement at the end, that we can't have this publicly funded institution simply because the Democrats and the Republicans don't get along. I think we can't have it because it's always going to be propaganda. We can't be using our tax dollars to be mouthpieces for the government. The government should come out with their statements, put them out there, have coverage from the media, and then we can pick and choose the sources we believe are not biased. That's the way it should work. And notice the tax dollars do not come into that at all. And I love the way the gentleman actually chimes in that yes, even his young daughter recognizes that, why is NPR always talking about things that people can't do, right? The stories of oppression, the stories of how downtrodden folks are. These are the narratives of the left, and even the youths are out there understanding that, yeah, that's all NPR is. So yes, now is the time to cut off the suckling teat that is the American taxpayer from all of these leftist organizations. Root them out from the source so we can actually have some unbiased coverage out there of everything going on. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me.